I think maybe even Dirty Jersey Rat. Dirty Jersey. Yay! I love that song.
Yeah, well, you know, you're a big shot in this world, and as soon as you start talking about me, everybody starts calling me.
Oh, all right. So, I don't even know where to start. Are you? I said you must be working for Grubhub or something.
No, I'm not. I'm working. I'm getting paid to do my podcast.
Okay. By who?
By a sponsor.
You have 13 people watch. So this guy wants us. Why is he go to my channel? I have way more than 13 people watching.
I know. It's amazing. My life is pretty lucky.
Lucky. All right. How come you've been in radio 3 decades? I was just watching you on the Shit Network, and you said you've been friends with Stuttering John for 30 years. How come in 30 years you haven't made any money doing this? And why are you turning your life around?
Why am I turning my life around? I just needed a change. You know, I was like, been living in Manhattan for 30 years, and I was doing grip work and stagehand work, and there's, you know, after the strike happened with the actors union, it never really fully recovered in New York. And it's just like scrapping for work every day. I get it, but it's like you 3 weeks on, 2 weeks off, 3 weeks on, 2 weeks off. So I got offered an opportunity to come out here, and I just took advantage of it.
When you say out there, you're talking about California?
No, I'm in Las Vegas.
Oh, that's right, Las Vegas. Okay, so yeah, and I didn't know anything about your Chauncey, who actually learned from watching your show. So thank you for that, because he was a great guest. I mean, he's got stories out the ass.
He's an awesome person. He's one of my really close friends, and there's no reason why I can't spread the love. And I was like, I don't know if you like me or not. So I was like, I could have been. I'm not a dick, so I didn't want to be like, oh, I'm gonna keep Chauncey to myself. I was like, I don't care. Yeah, go ahead. I said, Chauncey, you should do a show.
Yeah, so and I learned from Chauncey that you're a carpenter, and so that's how you've been making your money for how long?
I've been doing grip work for Local 52 and stagehand work for Local 1 for about 6 years.
And then it was some obviously on the East Coast, and then you moved to the West Coast. Yeah,
I could get stagehand work out here. I was given a task to monetize my channel, so that's what I'm doing.
What do you mean you're given a task? Like it's a?
I came out here for another reason. I came out here to help someone start their own network, and that's got postponed. So in the interim, I was told monetize your channel. So when the deal goes through, we already have content.
Do you know Stevie Lew?
I do not, but it's a pleasure to meet you, pal.
Yo, Steve, what up, kid? How you doing, bro?
Much better now that I see you.
You said it to everybody when you
yeah.
You said it earlier on the Shuley show.
That's my thing. That's what I say.
That's your catchphrase?
Yeah.
Wait, this is the first time I've ever had 2 Steves on my show.
Steve squared.
Wait, you sure you weren't saying it just because I'm handsome?
No, he says on all the shows. All right, Steve. So, yeah, I do shit on you because I think that I don't know. I think you should. I don't know. I don't even know why. I just think because you're associated with the shit network and with Stuttering John. And again, when you had Chauncey on, Chauncey laid it out pretty clearly. These guys, they're all losers. So I understand why you would want to move away and get out of the fucking Dabbleverse. Because these guys, Stuttering John's a fucking, whatever Chauncey said on your show, he was 100% right. But he also felt sorry for the shit network because they have to watch him every day. That's their job, to watch Stuttering John every day. To me, that's insanity.
Yeah, I can't watch him for 5 minutes, and even when he's talking about me.
Right, I'm the same way. But today they had 5 people on, and then they have 2 producers on to cover Stuttering John. That's insanity.
I didn't know you weren't friends with Shuley.
I'm not friends with anybody.
Holy shit!
Nice.
Wait,
no, I don't know. There's so many feuds going on with all these people. I don't realize that I'm crossing lines and I'm getting in trouble.
You're crossing enemy lines.
This is a pretty big one. This is almost like U.S. versus Iran in the whole.
Oh, I have no idea. All I know is like people like This guy's talking about you. You should go on. This guy's talking about you. You should go on. I just like, okay, sure.
You don't know about the Uncle Karen show?
No.
Okay, they try to take down my channel. She always tried to take down my channel multiple times. It never took.
I had no idea.
Now you know.
You didn't know. Now you know.
Have you tried to get this job as Howard's new assistant in the Hamptons house?
Yeah, I just saw something about that on the New York Post website. Apparently, she's suing him for $1 trillion. I don't know if that's real or not, but
yeah,
she's really going after him.
I think that's a little. I don't know if you go after someone for $1 trillion. Okay, Steve. Steve. So, are you too nice a guy? I think you're too nice a guy.
I can handle my own. I don't like. I am a nice guy. It's just my nature.
The fact that you worked for Howard Stern for like over 5 years and he wouldn't pay you. I mean, to me, that's a slap in the fucking face. I mean, we know he makes money, and the fact that he wouldn't even give you some pity pay is fucking pathetic.
It is. It's right. That's right. You know, it's a big part of what I wrote in my book, because it was like the moment I went to Tom Chiusano to try to get paid for the hours that I worked, and Tom wouldn't give me a raise, and I went to Howard and told him about Tom, and he just literally went, "Well, you know, that's Tom for you."
Okay,
went, this motherfucker's not going to stick up for me. I literally went. I dropped him off at the limo, and I went upstairs and gave my 2 weeks notice.
Right. You know what really happened? Probably Tom asked Howard, "Should I pay Grillo?" And he said, "Don't bother." So if Howard told Tom to pay you, you would have got paid.
Yeah. He didn't stick up for me.
Howard was the boss, not this Tom, whatever his last name is, even if he's the GM or the head of Sirius Satellite Radio. If Howard said, pay Grillo, you would have got paid.
Yeah.
No, Steve, it was almost like Howard is like the king in this situation of all the media there, you know?
Yeah, I knew that. And I was like, you're not going to stick up for me? You don't got my back? The fuck am I doing here?
You know, want to hear a crazy story, Steve? So, like, just a few years ago, I wasn't doing so hot. I had my arm broken by a man with nunchucks, and I was trying to move into a new. I know that's
the
not
guy's still in jail. Steve, the guy's still in jail. Yeah, I swear to God. I mean, the stories that come out here are fucking amazing. Go ahead.
Right, but
this is for real.
This is real. So then I was moving apartments, and like I said, I wasn't doing so hot. So as I'm talking to the new landlord, they're like, "Hey, do you have any more sources of income?" And I literally just said, "Hey, there's a podcast called Misery Loves Company that this guy Kevin Brennan, he pays me to perform, to come on in his show. He makes so much money, he gives me like a monthly payment." And they were like looking at my pay stubs from this show, and they're like, "All right, yeah, sure. You know what? Come on in, let's go." So that's how.
Steve, your point is you make more from working for me than he worked from working for Howard Stern.
That's kind of what I was. Not in an insulting way, Steve, but I just wanted to put that out. You know.
Yeah, I think you're too nice, Steve.
I'll take that as a compliment, but I've been doing this podcast shit a long time, Kevin, a long time, and like when it first started. So this isn't, back before it got hostile and this whole environment came up with the Dabbleverse. I had some, my YouTube channel was monetized 5 years ago. And so it got so inundated and so flooded that it's so diluted that I said, what am I doing? I'm fighting for scraps with all these people. So I started, doing stagehand work and shit. And I love it. I love doing that.
Yeah, you got to keep your idle hands are the devil's workshop.
Yeah, no shit. So I decided
keep your nose to the grindstone.
Yeah, dude, I'm a hustler. I've been a hustler since I was 11 years old. Okay, if I want something, I go out, I'll work for it, and I'll get it. I had an opportunity to change my life a little bit. New York was getting stale to me, and I was flown out here. I was given a truck. I was given a salary. And now I was told the other deal is on the back burner. Why don't you monetize your YouTube channel again, and we'll go from there. And that's where I'm at.
Oh, you got to monetize it again?
Well, yeah, because I literally abandoned it. I haven't used my YouTube channel in like 4 or 5 years.
Like an ugly stepchild, you abandon it.
Yeah, I'm sure you know this now, Steve, but the whole podcast game was really a long game sort of scenario, and a lot of people didn't realize that. Early on, all you had was getting advertisers for dick pills and, coffee with mushroom powder in it and all this bullshit. And nowadays, you go on YouTube and you can actually make a living just straight on just viewers supporting you.
There's this guy that he's a retired detective. He has a big TikTok following, like 500,000. His name is Danny Miner. And he just goes on and does like 2-minute little rants. And he makes a crap ton of money a month just going on doing these 2-minute rants on TikTok.
What's the name? Oh, he's on TikTok.
Danny,
What's the name?
Miner?
No, YouTube. Danny Miner. He's a retired detective. And he does like whatever's in the news, whatever he feels, he goes on and does like these like 2-minute rants, and he's got 500,000 people on TikTok listening to him every single day.
Yeah, because you used to do the show in a studio, right, in Times Square?
Yeah, I was one of the first people that had a studio with cameras. Like, I was like, they were developing that. And then Artie Lang was doing his show from there because he liked the studio so much right before he disappeared. And,
yeah, but you can't make any money that way because, like Stevie said, you're relying on ads, and then you got to pay for the studio time.
No, I didn't pay for the studio time. It was my friend's joint.
Oh,
so he gave me an hour a week, and I was, because of my show being out there, he was booking more shows through my show. Okay, I'm about to go back to the studio. Are you going to be on for a while?
Yeah,
I had to take a friend of mine to the doctor, so I'm going back to the studio now. So I'll come back on when I'm at the studio. How about that?
Okay, that's good. Okay, the studio that you did the show from. That's how you got hooked up with Vegas Beer Sales Jerry.
Well, I got hooked up because John told me he was a nice guy, and if I ever needed help with something, he could be there to help me. And I had Billy West on. It was like last minute, and I wanted to be able to concentrate on Billy West and not have to look at the comments, not have to put the super chats through or super tips. So I just needed someone to put the super tips through so I can concentrate on the interview. And I had no idea of the backlash that I got from this guy. I was like, what the fuck is going on? And all of a sudden people are saying, don't super tip me and shit. I'm trying to like prove a point out here, and I finally got super tips going. Now these people are like taking money out of my pocket. So I told him straight up, I was like, I didn't know you were gonna bring me this heat. I can't be involved with you, bro.
All right, can you at least, I know you got to go, but can you at least address some of the super chats? Didn't Grillo have a stage lighting company that did well for a while, but when went belly up when all the studios switched to LED lights?
Well, we were the premier LED light in the movie business and TV business. And I got everybody. We were on so many shows from New York to LA. It was the company Airy, which supplies most of the lights. They didn't have our technology. It took them 6-7 years to copy our technology around all the patents that we had on it. And once they got a bastardized version of our light, they basically muscled us out of the business.
Yeah, those metal halide guys had no idea what fucking hit them when Steve Grillo rolled up into town.
Whoever got him on, thank you. Whoever told him to jump on.
That's
Listen,
big.
man, it's disgusting what Howard Stern did to this guy.
I mean, if you see what's like you mentioned in the news now, this other assistant's suing him, so it just kind of leads to a broader story that this guy's a piece of shit, you know.
Okay, we got to go back, Grillo. There's a lot of questions. I didn't know all this stuff. So you had something. First of all, you have top of my head. You had something with Spike Lee.
Oh yeah, that fucking. Well, Stuttering John. We went down to. It was Christmas time. We were down in right off of 6th Avenue and 8th Street at a Barnes and Noble. We snuck in. I had the recorder in my backpack, and the line went up John's sleeve to the microphone. And John, we got up there, and John asked him why he hates the Jews so much. And we got thrown out. And we got in the car, and then 2 big, giant bodyguards from him came out to the car, basically ripped the door open, and I got out, and John threw me. They wanted to give me the tape, motherfucker. You know, like, and you hear Spike on tape, go get that tape from those guys. And I ran down 8th Street. And I had a pretty good lead, and I turned around to see how far they were. They caught up to me. They punched me in the back of the head. They bruised my ribs, and I had a lump and black and blues. And the cops were there. I got a police report and everything like that. And then you could hear Spike on tape saying, "Go get the tape." And Howard played it the next day. And every lawyer in the New York City was calling me to sue Spike. And I told Howard, I was like, I'm going to sue Spike because I had the police report, the medical report, everything. And you hear Spike saying, "Go get the tape." And Howard goes, "I don't want that kind of heat. Don't do anything." And I didn't.
I thought he liked stuff like that.
No, he didn't want to get involved in a public match with Spike Lee, that he was involved, that he had to get involved, and his lawyers had to get involved, and it would have been
not? Why not?
Spectacle. My uncle to this day is so he hates Howard just because he's like, you would have made a fuck $20 million, and that guy fucking told you not to do it. You listened to him.
Yeah, and the fact, well, he was your boss, but loosely because he didn't pay you anything. So how was he your boss?
Yeah, well, it was his show. He was in charge, and he asked me. He goes, I don't need to get involved in that. Don't do it. Don't do it. So I didn't.
What a bitch! The more I hear about this guy, the more I don't like him.
Hey, Steve, you said it happened at a Barnes and Noble.
Yeah, he was doing a book signing. And
you know what's crazy? When I was a kid, for the longest time, I thought it was Barnes and Noble, and this guy Barnes just really took book selling seriously.
Yeah. No, so I had an opportunity.
Stevie No Brains.
There you go.
How many guys did you grip on set? I got to read that, but he was making a joke.
That's a funny joke.
That's better.
Grillo does grip work on Newport's wangs, allegedly.
What's that?
You don't know what a Newport is?
Like
we use code here on YouTube, especially. So that's code for a certain type of person.
Okay.
You'll get the hang of it once you're,
Oh, I'm learning real quick. I can tell you that.
You just got to see a few pitches, once through the lineup, they say, and the second time around, you're on it.
Grillo, bad luck. Cry sympathizing with Shuley about Stuttering John. Yeah, Stuttering. Well, again, I don't know what your end game is, but people hate Shuley, but they hate Stuttering John too. So it's basically pick your poison.
My poison is just to come here and do a show and be happy. That's what I'm doing,
Grillo, do you still have nightmares of Tracy from the back of Stern calling you a fucking douche and loser?
No, I've embraced all that. It's just that the story's that segment's legendary, and I embraced it. It was funny.
I just can't believe you were involved in all this tomfoolery, and he just couldn't pay you out of his own pocket.
Oh, he could have.
Well, we did get a note that we got a note that you were thanked or dedicated.
Oh, yeah, in the book.
Yeah, he dedicated Miss America to me.
Did he say to you like, "Hey, this is how I'm going to pay you here? Is I'm going to just thank you in my book"?
Yeah. No, I don't know what.
He dedicate the book to you and not pay you.
That just says a lot about the person, I guess.
Yeah, but you can't monetize a fucking dedication in a book, even if it's a famous guy.
Yeah, I used it to try to pay my rent. It didn't work.
Grillo got paid what he's worth. Apologize. Grillo, everyone hates Shuley.
Really? I didn't know. I'm clueless to all that. I thought Shuley was like a beloved person in the Dabbleverse. I never heard anything negative about him, so this is news to me.
Well, come over here more. You hear a lot of negative about him. I was born in 1990 when Grillo was relevant. The Great Depression. Gun Garden. That's one of the characters you played.
No, Howard had a thing with his throat and his voice.
How long did you work there? Let me just clarify. How long did you work there?
91 to 98.
And he didn't pay you any of those years?
No, when I left, he gave me $2,000. And he acted like he was like, oh, yeah, I gave Grillo some money. I gave him $2,000. Like, you think he would have kept it quiet? But he bragged about giving me $2,000 my last day.
And how long could you legally have worked as an intern?
Well, it goes by credit work hours. So you get X amount of credits for how many hours you worked. And I blew through those credits the first 4 months I was there. So I stopped getting credit probably if I started in 91, I stopped getting credit like 6 months into it.
So you're an unpaid intern for 5+ years.
Before they decided to pay me minimum 30 hours, and the minimum wage at that point was, I think, $6.35. So I was working like 60 hours, getting paid for 30 at minimum wage.
For how long was that?
About 2 years. I had enough. Like I was like, look, at least they wouldn't pay me 40 hours because that means they'd have to give me health insurance.
Oh, wait, Jesus Christ!
Wait, hold a second though.
Like I said before, the moment I saw Howard, not have my back is the moment I went upstairs and gave my 2 weeks notice.
Okay.
So you said I got to get paid, and they said we'll pay you minimum wage, but 30 hours only because we don't want to cover your health insurance.
Yep.
Who told you that?
Tom Giussano. I said,
and you had a meeting with him?
Yeah. The first time he realized I wasn't getting credit, he was scared shitless. Like the man was he looked like a sheet. And he's like, when's the last time you got credit? I'm like, Tom, like 6 years ago. And he knew if I would have had the knowledge or even done anything, he would have got fired for that, because that's extremely illegal. So
why didn't you use that leverage to fuck with these guys, like the Spike Lee thing?
It's not in my nature, and
you're too nice. You're too nice.
It's not in my nature to do shit like that. I appreciated everything that I had there. I didn't want to burn that bridge. I always wanted to keep that ace in my back pocket in case I ever needed to go on and promote something. And once I realized that that card went away when he did his change and never looked back, and he's not having old staff members on, that's when I decided to really tell the truth.
Steve, I see that you were on The Sopranos, though. You were actually on a Sopranos episode.
I was Anthony Jr.'s stand-in for 3 seasons. So everybody thinks I left the Stern Show and I didn't do anything. I did a lot.
Well, would you say, and now I'm not trying to burn you on this one, but would you say like the work you got in The Sopranos was probably based off the fact that you had Stern Show experience?
No.
Or
well, yeah, I'm going to tell you why. Because the whole entire crew on The Sopranos was the same exact crew that did Private Parts, and the same exact crew. And Robert Eiler asked me when I did his show, what was it like coming on the set of The Sopranos, being so, the show was a huge success at that point. I said it felt like I was home, because everybody there I knew, I worked with. And the first AD, Michael DeCasper, God rest his soul, he loved me. And he was my go-to guy when I was a PA on Private Parts. He was like I worked through him, and he loved me, and he was very patient because I didn't know anything. And then he called me up one day and goes, "Yo, we can't stay. How tall are you?" I'm like 5'0". He goes, the guy that's standing in for Robert Eiler sucks. We don't like him. Why don't you come in here and do it? So I did it for like the end of season 1, 2, and 3, and then the beginning of 4, and then 9/11 happened, and they shut down production for like a year because Dan Dorfini, Timmy Van Patten, Steve Sharippa, they all lived down in Battery Park City, and that basically shut down. So in the interim of that year, I wound up joining Local 3 as an electrician.
So I was just going to say that. So, okay, Local 3, but did this call all kind of lead to your job now working in production, though, would you say?
Yeah, 100%.
So what I'm trying to get is, like, you are one of the few people that actually took your experience at Howard Stern and turned it into a actual successful, productive life, instead of like being a college or high school dropout, having your wife and kids disown you, yada, yada, like we've seen in other people's lives. You're actually kind of a success story coming out of Stern.
You're the first person that ever said that.
Yeah, Stevie's very high right now. So.
I got a little high before I.
Okay.
So when you stand in for somebody, do you get SAG pay? How do you get paid?
We get paid more than the extras were getting like $125 a day. I was getting like $175 a day, and that's without overtime.
And do you get into the union by doing that?
I was already in the union. I got in SAG. I did an episode of what was it, NYPD Blue, and I did it. I was in a scene with Dennis Franz and Jimmy Smits. That was pretty cool, but it was really quick. It was like the 2 lines I had on any 2 major network TV shows were "Kiss my ass," and the other one was "Ropehead scumbag." So I got to curse 2 times on network TV.
Hey, buddy, all the guys that work for Stern failed because they all thought they knew better than Stern. Shuley, Stuttering John, Levy, Grillo, etc. Good day, sir. I said good day.
Yeah, good day, sir. No,
but you're not in that boat. You thought you knew better than Stern. You're just they took advantage of you.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, you would have stayed if you were getting paid.
Oh yeah, 100. Yeah, I thought what I was doing wasn't necessarily what interns do. I was producing segments. I was in charge of the guests when they got there. I was Robin's news assistant, and I was Howard Stern's assistant. And plus, I was manipulating all the things that went on in the office on a daily basis. So that's not an intern. That's called a producer,
Steve, how much did Shuley pay you? Kevin will double it. 0 times 0 is 0.
I'm not looking to get paid, I'm looking
to money. You worked 6 years gratis over at the Stern Show.
I'm not coming on here for you to pay me. I'm coming on here because the last time I did your show, I had a good time.
But Shuley's a grifter. Even the fact that he has Rob Saul on, he pretends he's Rob Saul's friend now because Rob Saul is clean and sober. Shuley's high all day, every day. You know that as a fact, right?
No.
Yeah, if you hang around with Shuley, he's always taking little opportunities to get high all day, every day. I've done 2 gigs with them, literally getting high the whole time while we're driving to the gig.
They got these little pens now that you could just, no one even knows. You can just
Yeah,
like
listen, I was a big pothead for a long time, and then I had to get a drug test for a job. And then when I came back, it just wasn't the same. I was like, you know, I like to do a little puff here and there, but I was high 24/7, just like most like stoners. And when I passed the drug test and I started smoking again, I didn't have that need to be as high as I was all the time.
What about, have you tried shrooms at all? A lot of people are going
I love shrooms.
There we go.
I'm not opposed. I'm not sober. I didn't go to rehab. I'm not sober. I'm not an angel by any means. But I keep it together when I have to work. You know what I'm saying? And I show up to work and I make sure that I'm on point. You know.
Grillo became Howard's personal assistant on the movie.
No, I'm glad I didn't, because I was Jodie Foster's first team PA, which is basically what that's called. First team PAs work directly with the they call them first team. It's all the major actors that are in.
Wait. Jodie Foster was in Private Parts?
No, no. I would have never made it as Howard's first team PA on Private Parts because I didn't know anything. But as a first team PA, you really need to know the lingo. You need to know what's going on with hair and makeup and what's going on completely. I had no clue. It would have been a disaster. I learned everything being a PA. So, and I did that for a long time. And I was Jodie Foster's first team PA on The Brave One.
Did anybody, like, when you're around Jodie Foster, is there like no pinball machine?
No. That's
right,
funny you say that, because if you watch The Brave One, there is a scene where she gets, I don't know why this girl's always getting raped in movies, but in The Brave One, she
got
gets
bad luck.
Yeah, it's bad luck usually.
There was a scene in the park where, you know, her and her husband are walking and they kill her husband and they beat the shit out of her. And the one kid that was one of the thug actors kept pushing her. And she finally said, "God damn it. Did you never watch any of my fucking movies? Stop doing this to me." Like, she's yelled at this one actor because like she had, and I had to fucking walk her off the set and calm her down. It was crazy.
Nice.
But yeah,
What year was that?
Whenever The Brave One came out, 2004 maybe. I worked with her. And the funny thing is, you know, I wanted to do a show on Howard's channel, like reviewing movies, and they gave me like a demo show. They let me go on and practice.
Oh, you and Stevie should do a review thing.
So, but the thing is, while I got the okay to do the demo,
because I'm muted, nobody reacted to that.
Yeah, I'm listening to Steve's story.
Wait. Before you go on, how did you get a job working for Jodie Foster? You didn't have any experience.
No, I did.
This was 2007. This is 2007, The Brave One.
This was 94. I had been doing PA work and also working on The Sopranos. I was working on movie and TV for years. But nobody knows that.
Okay, so is this all in your book?
Yes, Grillo Parts.
And did you dedicate your book to Howard Stern?
I did not. I didn't even put him in the acknowledgements.
You should have to stick it to him.
That would have been the move.
No. Well, I stuck it to him by calling, you know, Private Parts Gorilla Parts.
Oh, that's good.
And
and how long has the book been out?
A year.
And it's on. Oh yeah, you went on Comia show to promote it. And it's on Amazon.
Amazon and Audible. If you want to have some fun, get the Audible, because it's pretty entertaining to listen to me tell. I read the book, so.
Grillo, think Ralph and Stuttering John fucked. You like Big Black? ?
I think Big Black is a sweetheart. I don't think Ralph. No way, because John and Ralph, they were always at it. They were always at each other's throats.
Yeah, but John was always at it with everybody, right? That was his business model.
I think it was just his personality. It's just he's confrontational when it comes to, like, you know, and he's always pulling pranks on people. Like, you always had to worry about it. He tried to pull like two big.
He pulled a prank on me. It struck my channel.
Oh, I don't get all that shit. You know.
You know, Big Black is probably watching the show right now. So if you wanted to say hello to Big Black,
What's up, buddy? How you been?
There you go.
Hey. So Ralph, I was a little confused because I thought Ralph was gay, but they're saying he's both or something.
Well, here's the deal, and I told this story in my book, so I don't really care. We brought back a stripper from Scores to my apartment, and as things had it started getting a little weird. Then all of a sudden, it was like things were going on that I just wasn't going to be a part of, where, you know, she was doing things to him, and I was there, and I was like, you know, I was sitting there thinking, I don't even want my own penis in the room, so I left.
What do you mean she was doing things to him?
She was giving him a blowjob in my room, and then all of a sudden she started touching me at the same time, and I just had a real quick glance.
So wait, so Ralph's not gay?
He didn't have a problem with it, so I don't know how far it would have went, but I wasn't sticking around to find out.
I just figured.
Jess Angel, I don't know if this is true or not. The second Grillo quit, they hired Casey Armstrong with a full salary. Crazy.
No, they hired two people. They needed two people to do my job. They hired Benji and Stuttering John. I mean, Casey. I'm sorry.
And they paid them both.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So Howard just didn't. He's just vindictive for some reason against you.
I have no idea. I could have stayed, and the reason why I left immediately is because I would have like burnt that bridge. I would have been a nasty. They would have had to fire me. I would have been an asshole to work for or work with.
So they hired both of them, and they paid them both full salary.
I don't know what they got paid. I know they got paid, but I'm sure, you know, they had to. I was doing the job of two people. They had to get two people to fill my shoes.
Grillo was friends with John Stamos until Ralph stole him from Grillo. Also, Grillo and Ralph had a threesome with a dancer.
We talked about, but no, yeah, it was weird. Stamos is such a big fan of the show, and he was like, I can't go on. I have an image, you know, but so I went out a lot with Ralph, and then one night I brought him out with Stamos, and Stamos was such a big fan. He knew that he was close with Howard, so he basically latched on to Stamos. And all of a sudden, he was, instead of him, I introduced you to my friend, instead of, oh, Grillo, I'm going out with Stamos to come out, you know, he would go out with Stamos and not tell me. So it was weird.
Jesus Christ. I would want to go out with Stamos too. He's a fucking great looking guy.
Pulling puss left and right,
yeah. Oh, no, he was great. He was such a pussy. He got me laid. It's really the third generation of this. There's me and Stamos at his house.
In California.
Yeah, I went out there for lunch when I was there, but he would.
Where do you live in California?
Oh, I don't remember. It was on top of a giant hill, but
that sounds about right. Near the water or near Hollywood?
And it was right, like it was. I guess it's Hollywood because it was like he's like on a cliff, like you could literally jump off the cliff. It was
Hollywood Hills.
Yeah, but he was doing a Broadway play, and he would get me passes, and I'd go backstage, and all the girls were like, oh, he got me laid so many times. It was ridiculous.
Jesus. Yeah, because everybody wants to have sex with him, and then all the rejects just want to have sex with somebody.
Yeah, they figure that they're one step away from fucking him by fucking you.
Nope. Yeah, sure. But he was good at it. He really would talk me up.
Pardon my language. I don't want to.
Friend, you know, like it was kind of cool. I was out with one girl. It was New Year's Eve, and all of a sudden, a bottle of champagne came to my table, and I turned around, and it was Rebecca and John sitting at the table. He sent me over a bottle of champagne with the girl there, and that was pretty cool.
Grillo, did you ever see Florentine give Robin PDA?
I never. Those paths never crossed. I was friends with Florentine. I was friends with Robin, but when she was dating him, she sort of went, you know, secluded. So I never was around both of them at the same time.
Grillo fell asleep during a play that he was in.
No, I fell asleep. They invited me to be a cast member, and I had to go see the play before I auditioned. And I was out the night before doing an appearance, and I did the show, and then I had to go see this play Friday before I auditioned on Saturday, and I fell asleep in the first half, and then I left because I couldn't keep my eyes open. And the next day, I didn't realize that the guy who wrote the play is also the director, was also in character, sitting behind me, watching me nod off, and then not return after the halftime. You know.
Tell us, tell us more about your book. We don't care about. Shut up, Panhandler. You're just jealous. You're jealous, Panhandler, because he doesn't have Bell's palsy.
Yeah, our buddy Panhandler, half of his face currently is.
You're
frozen.
Jealous because his face works.
Right.
Tell him if half his face doesn't work, I'll give him half off the book.
Oh. Grillo, are you threatened by Stevie's stupidity? Grillo looks like the guy. This Panhandler again. He's still jealous from the other super chat. Grillo looks like the guy who ate $2 Dan, but somehow he's even less interesting and dumber than Dan. Shut up, Panhandler. At least he's got stories. These guys are incorrigible.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
It is a good question. Teddy wants to know, Grillo, do you think Gary was the reason you didn't get paid because he felt threatened by you because you take his job?
No, no one could take that guy's job. Gary did a very good job. Although he took a lot of shit on the air, it wasn't an easy job he had. I don't think he was. No, Gary, when I told him I was giving my 2 weeks notice, spent a lot of time trying to convince me to stay.
Yo, ask for a fucking raise then.
Yeah, you were.
No, I think
working for free.
Gary's getting plenty of money. Why can't he get you some money?
Gary had no play in any of that. He was just. I felt
okay. You're being naive. If Gary fought for you, you would have got more money. If Howard fought for you, you absolutely would have got more money.
That's the people that they are, man. I was doing a good job at what I did, and it took 2 people to replace me. But for whatever reason it happened, that's the way God planned it.
Oh, you're blaming God.
Yeah, definitely.
I like to blame the Jews.
It's so easy. You got to go to the big guy.
Dirty Jersey. Dirty Jersey rat. Dirty Jersey rat. Dirty
Jersey, you broke my heart. Mainly by including Granny. That's my main issue.
You know what? You weren't. I know that your ass was not going to bring this up.